So we're at a point here where we've got a fully functioning game now. I mean, if I hit the green flag to start again, I can drive around, and it's just a game of how many times can I get round without touching the green, which is brilliant. We could go and make the game a little bit more complicated by adding levels. So maybe if they get to 5 laps, that they can move on to the next level. So what would another level look like? Well, actually, all it is another background in our case. So I'm going to go to the stage, and we're going to go to the background, and we're actually just going to create a new background, a new level. So I'm going to do that by going to Paint, and start painting a new background. Well, why don't we have a desert level? So I'm going to have yellow as my main background, and we'll have a grey track again, just like last time, and we'll just make it look a bit different. So maybe we will have it so it goes up, dips around, comes back around, and wiggles back to the start. Bit more of a tricky track this time, and you can add whatever graphics you want into here, whether you want ponds or whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to click OK for now. So now I've got 2 different levels. I've got this level, which is just named background 1. Again, you might like to name these something more sensible, but I'm going to leave it for now. And we've got background 2. So I've gone back to my scripts, and I've made a mistake here. Of course, I'm seeing no scripts because there's no scripts on my stage. Instead, let's go and look at the scripts on my car. And there's all the ones from earlier on. Starting to get quite a lot of scripts in here now, aren't we? So I'm just going to start pulling them all to one side a little bit, just so we can have a little bit more room to work. And now we've got the second level, we're going to have numerous problems start to arise with creating a second level, and I'm hopefully going to go through each of those step by step. So to start off with, if I go and start driving around now, oh, I can't because I haven't pressed the green flag. You'll find that for one, I can go and drive over the yellow as much as I want. Well, that certainly is a problem. So to start off with, we said forever if you're touching green, then you need to go back to, you need to set on fire, wait a second, set the laps to 0, go back to the starting position, switch to the normal car, and point forward. So what I really want to do is maybe show that I'd like to do that again, but for yellow. And one way I could do this is I could just duplicate this whole block. So duplicate that, have it over here. But the only difference I'm going to have here is, well, this is not if I'm touching green now, this is if I'm touching the yellow. So let's just go and test this out. If I hit the green flag, everything's running now, and if I crash into the yellow, sure enough it seems to be working, which is pretty good. Now my starting position is slightly different to what it was previously, so I might want to change that slightly. I think realistically the X position should be more across there, so maybe 181ish, so let's just change that to minus 181, and I think with something which should end up being a little bit more central when we restart. Okay. I've got another problem now, which is when I hit the green start to start the game again, I'm already on level 2. Well, so what we actually need to do is when we hit the green flag to switch it back to the first map. So the first level. So in here, this is everything that happens when we just press the green flag. Why don't I go back to looks and see if we can change the looks of the background. Ah, now we've got a problem here, and this is where things get really interesting. We can only change the looks of the background and change the appearance of the background on the stage. So in here, if I go to looks, you'll notice I can say switch background. Now, what we'd like to do is switch the background to background 1. But we haven't got a block here for when we want to do that. And I can't use this block on the car coding where we've done the rest of our code. So instead, like we did on the car, I'm just going to have another block for when we press the green flag, with no other condition in there, just to run some statements on the stage. So I'm just going to go and get my control. When the green flag is clicked, and now whenever I press the green flag, it will run this statement as well as the one on the car. So I've got 2 different statements running. So let's just try that out. Perfect, and we're back to the first track.